r/ask Reddit. What is something that is expensive, but only owned by poor people? Rent to own. Spoiler, you never quite own it. Places like errands just make me mad. It seems like you're getting a good deal, but you aren't. You're paying like twice as much for an item. Payday loans. Single items of things that should be bought in bulk, like single rolls of toilet paper. Barely scraping by paycheck to paycheck means buying bulk is sometimes impossible. Samuel Vimes got it right. Take boots, for example. He earned $38 a month plus allowances. A really good pair of leather boots cost $50, but an affordable pair of boots, which was sort of okay for a season or two and then leaked like hell when the cardboard gave out, cost about $10. Those were the kind of boots Vimes always bought and wore until the soles were so thin that he could tell where he was in Ankh-Morpork on a foggy night by the feel of the cobbles. But the thing was that good boots lasted for years and years. A man who could afford $50 had a pair of boots that'd still be keeping his feet dry in 10 years time, while the poor man who could only afford cheap boots would have spent $100 on boots in the same time and would still have wet feet. A perpetually broken car. I was leaving an abusive relationship that also ruined my credit, so my parents bought me a car so that I could survive once I got out. They overpaid and spent $3,000 on a 2002 Toyota Corolla with over 200,000 miles on it. It was a nice gesture, but I'm now stuck paying them back every month. And I have spent over $1,500 in repairs on this car in the last year and it's still not running like it should. There's no way I could find another sucker to buy this piece of junk, so I'm stuck with it until I can pay it off or until I fix my credit. What a mess. Prepay electricity meters. Although it was a movie thing, there really are people somewhere putting dollar coins into a meter to get light. Dental problems. Those impacted wisdom teeth are hella expensive. Being poor is very expensive. I remember I had an old Chevy truck that cost so much to maintain and keep fuel in that I couldn't afford to save for another car. I literally kept me broke until I eventually joined the military and could afford a different vehicle. Crappy cars are more expensive than you realize. Bad credit. It is expensive to make someone comfortable enough to loan you money without them being certain you'll pay it back. A lot of companies like cell phone service providers will make you put down a large deposit before they'll sign a contract. Pretty much anything with a contract is more expensive if your credit is bad. I wasn't taught money skills growing up and was stupid as a teenager, so my credit has been a struggle to rebuild. Debt. I feel like the question was written just for this answer. Well, at my job there are a few people who I'm aware of their salary. They make around $25,000 a year after taxes. One of them somehow has a lifted Ford Raptor that I hear is like $50,000. He recently acquired a motorcycle too. He probably thinks it's cool, but he's likely eating the dirt off his tires because he can't afford anything else but those payments and insurance. Sounds like he has 2 jobs or doesn't pay for his housing. I'm sure he doesn't have another job. I am pretty sure he lives with his GF at her parents' house though, so that's probably it. Lottery tickets. Well, 99.999969% of lottery tickets. So you're telling me there's a chance. Cigarettes. Expensive as duck in Australia. I think they are expensive almost everywhere now. Yep, but in Australia it's a whole other level. A pack in US costs about $8, while in Sydney a pack is $20 US or 30 Australian dollars. To those saying packs cost $15 in NYC, I'm referring to prices in Michigan. Despite a high state tax for tobacco products, Detroit doesn't have an additional city tax that pushes prices as high as other major cities. Shopping carts. My ex was a manager at a supermarket in a low-income area, and he and an employee or two would drive around every couple of weeks to collect stranded shopping carts. He told me stories of finding carts used as all kinds of shit, including dog cages and a grill. Someone turned a shopping cart over on top of a fire pit and grilled meat on it. Innovation. He didn't get that cart back. Multiple cars that don't work. Are they expensive? Roughly car priced. Lack of preventative care. Cheap shoes or cheap mattress leads to more expensive medical care. Lack of dental maintenance leads to expensive surgeries. That kind of thing. When you can't afford preventative medical care, it catches up to you, leading to more expensive costs later. Bad teeth. When you can't afford a dentist visit and let your oral health slide, it can have all sorts of expensive health consequences, such as heart disease. Heart disease is not a proven consequence of poor dental health. It is a recognized association, as in people who can't or don't take care of their teeth likely aren't taking care of their heart either. Designer handbags covered in the brand logo. Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton. Crippling medical debt. My medical debt got sent to debt collectors. For the last 2 years I've been ignoring them anytime they call or send letters. How much trouble could I get in if I continue to ignore them? Slabs, it's hood rich and they spend so much more on straps, candy coats, and clean F interiors. Looks dope, but I don't care for cars that much to own one, and I'm not from Houston. I used to live in 3rd Ward in Houston, and you see the nicest cars parked outside of houses that are practically falling down. Just paying rent. Where I live, mortgages are cheaper than getting a house, but they don't give me a mortgage because I don't earn enough. So I have to keep renting expensive places, making it take even longer for me to save up. And in my situation, getting a better paying job is difficult. I swear this world is made for the rich and middle class. Poor people are straight up ducked in every way possible. Long-term near constant stress and worry over money. Definitely expensive in terms of physical and mental health. Loads of stuff. It's expensive being poor for a variety of reasons, including having to buy poorer quality goods and needing to replace them more often because of initial cost, not being able to bulk buy, predatory loans, and really anything that puts someone in a you have no other choice position. On top of that, there are things like cheap food being bad for your health and incurring expensive health bills later in life, continuing paying rent on something you'll never own, cheap cars that require maintenance more often. Being poor is expensive AF. A low credit score. That shit is so expensive. Decent size house that costs about $200k. Being poor because they now have to pay the bank around 1k monthly and barely have money to take care of the house, electricity, water, heat, etc. and themselves. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.